What's up, Tweener? Welcome back to another Tweener tennis video today. And today we are previewing the inaugural Parma Open, or I should say Emilia-Romagna tournament in Parma, the first WTA 250 that this city is hosting. And I'm very excited to be a part of their virtual media room, and I wanted to break down the draw for you guys because not only do we have a lot of top 50 talent, as well as Coco Gauff being the 3 seed, Serena and Venus Williams have accepted wildcards to play this WTA 250 event. Now, the last time Serena Williams played a 250 event, it was the top seed Kentucky Open last year during the pandemic when it was at its height, but she was knocked out of the third round by Shelby Rogers, and she even played Venus in that tournament and beat her in 3 sets. So it's going to be very interesting to see what she can do on clay, especially now that she was knocked off so early during the Rome tournament this past year. So let's just jump into it and take a look at the draw. So right now we have Serena Williams playing a qualifier, and then the next bracket we have Clara Tauson versus Katerina Siniakova. Now these are 2 players that I've interviewed, and I'm very grateful for interviewing them. And both of these talents are very good. Siniakova has won doubles Grand Slams. Clara Tauson is the next best thing on the WTA Tour besides Coco Gauff and maybe Katie McNally. But Clara Tauson has made a name for herself very quickly, especially in the shadow of Caroline Wozniacki, being from Denmark herself. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. If we see Clara Tauson play Serena Williams, I would love to live stream that match, so hopefully we can do that. Then we have Rus versus Golubic. Rus has been having a decent year. She actually played very well against Serena Williams. I believe it was at last year's French Open. The last time Rus and Williams played each other was in the Western Southern Open, where Serena Williams had to go 3 sets, and she battled it out. It was a grinding match, 7-6, 3-6, 7-6 against the Dutch player. But she's going to be playing Golubic, who I'm not that familiar with, but a player from Switzerland, so that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Caroline Garcia versus a qualifier. Caroline Garcia is the 8th seed. She's kind of dropped off in the rankings, but she's still looking to get back into that top form that once made her a star in France. And she still is a star. She recently broke up with her father as their player and coach relationship, but hopefully she can find her form on her way back to that top 20 spot. Next, we have Coco Gauff versus Kaia Kanepi. Coco Gauff being the 3 seed at this tournament, but Kaia Kanepi is always a seed killer, and I would definitely, if we were to see an upset maybe early on, that would be definitely one to watch out for, especially even though Coco Gauff is really good on clay. It's going to be very interesting to see how she does against a veteran like Kanepi. Next, we have Camila Giorgi versus Christina McCahill. Giorgi, one of the Italians' favorites. Very fun interview I did with her back in the City Open 2019. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm not very familiar with Christina McCahill's game on clay, but watching Camila Giorgi play and watching her swing speed is above no one else on tour. She is very aggressive on the court, and she really shows it. Whether or not she wants to be on the court during that time, I'm not personally sure. She had a great match against Sorribes Tormo, even though Tormo came back and won that match in 3 sets. That was a really cool match to see and very fun, even though Giorgi lost that match. Very competitive all around. Then you have the other wild card, the other Williams sister, Venus Williams, playing a qualifier in the next bracket. Venus Williams still striving along. I think she's well into her 40s now. I believe she's 41. Yeah, she's 40, excuse me. But she's still playing well. She'll play the winner of Jasmine Paolini versus Amanda Anisimova. That is the matchup to watch in the first round if I was to pick one. Out of 3 matches that you could watch, one's coming up in a second, but this is definitely one of the top ones to watch. Jasmine Paolini made the finals of the Open Park tournament just a couple weeks ago, so for her to see that fine form continue, especially against someone like Amanda Anisimova, who's going to be very tricky to play. Anisimova probably has the cleanest ground strokes on tour and the best contact point I've ever seen on the WTA Tour. Next, you have Sorribes Tormo versus Bernarda Pera. 2 very consistent and very solid players. Tormo coming off a great win against Camila Giorgi. Let's see how she can do against a tricky lefty, the American Bernarda Pera. Next, we have Anna Bogdan, a very experienced Romanian player, playing Sara Errani, who, for the life of me, can't find a serve. It looks like she's getting back into that form of getting a good second serve. The meme of Sara Errani's game is her serve because of how inconsistent it is, but nevertheless, it's going to be a fun one to watch just because of how experienced both these players are. Don't worry, internet, it's not like I'm recording anything. And to my surprise, they have not ever played against each other. Wow. They have never played each other, and they've been on tour for a while. The fact that Anna Bogdan is not in her 30s, she's been on tour for this long, is unreal. And Sarah Rani, her career high is number 5 in the world. We forget that Sarah Rani got to top 5 in the world. I completely forgot about that, but she's back to 112 in the world, and Bogdan is just inside the top 100. So if Irani can play well this tournament, she'll be back into the top 100 spot soon enough. But she is 34, Bogdan 28. Next, you got Sloane Stephens versus a qualifier, and then my personal favorite, Stephens in the qualifier will play the winner of Daria Kasatkina versus Sue Shea, the GOAT. The absolute GOAT Sue Shea is. You cannot tell me otherwise. She is the most fun player to listen to and watch on the WTA Tour, and that is a fact. You cannot debate me on that at all. If you think there's a better GOAT in terms of personality and just variety to watch on the WTA Tour, leave a comment down below of who that is, and then we'll see if you're right. Wang Chang versus Misaki Doi. Very good matchup, Wang being the 6th seed of this tournament. Then you have a qualifier playing now Hibino, and then you have another wild card, Giulia Gatto Moticone, who was actually at the draw ceremony for this event, which was pretty fun to see. Really good job of them for a 250 tournament to kind of get that audience engaged. It's really fun to watch and participate in that kind of event. So kudos to them for doing a good job. And she will be playing a qualifier. And then to round off the draw, we have Vavar Gracheva versus Petra Martic. Gracheva actually made the semifinals of the Open Park tournament that Jasmine Paolini made the finals to. Actually lost to Paolini in the semifinals. And Petra Martic is a veteran on tour. Very good player. Funny enough, Petra Martic was on a bit of a losing streak in the early rounds of some of the tournaments in 2021. But recently, she just made the semifinals of Rome, where she lost to Karolina Pliskova in 3 sets. Actually came back after being a 1-6 down in the first, and then winning the second 6-3, but eventually lost 2-6 in the third. But that was a really good run and a very good confidence booster for her going into this tournament. And playing someone really tricky like Gracheva is going to be a lot of fun to watch. So, in terms of players and matchups to watch for this tournament, the first round matchups, obviously Sue Shea versus Kasatkina. Then you have Jasmine Paolini versus Anisimova. I would definitely recommend you watching those two for sure. One to watch out for, an upset alert, I would say Coco Gauff and Kaya Kanepi. Maybe Kanepi can actually get over Coco Gauff's hype and beat her, but who knows? I think that's one to watch out for in terms of upsets in the seeds early on. I definitely think that Petra Martic versus Gracheva, that's one to watch as an upset for the 2 seed. Whether or not Gracheva can beat her, we'll see, and we'll find out soon enough, but I definitely think those 2 matches are ones to watch out for an upset early on for the seeds. Now, in terms of the favorite, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. If I was to pick someone right now out of a hat, I would have taken that pick for this tournament. It's very wide open in terms of talent because Serena and Venus were both last-minute entries into the tournament, but it's all-around close competition in terms of the seeding. All of them around that same ranking range because Martic, who was going to be the 1 seed at this tournament, is currently 25 in the world, and the 8 seed, Caroline Garcia, is just outside the top 50 at 56. It really can be up for grabs, in my opinion. I mean, whether or not Serena can play a tournament with confidence like this one, it's a small tournament. It's a tournament for her to work on her clay court game before the French Open. Same with Venus Williams, and a lot of these players warming up for that big Grand Slam coming up. But I honestly, if I was to pick a winner, my final 4 picks, at least for the top half of the draw, I think it's going to be Paolini and Gauff in the quarters, and then Gauff's gonna play Serena in the semis. Wow, bold prediction, right? And then in the bottom half, maybe this could be Kasatkina's run to win another title in 2021 because she would only have to go through Shea, Stephens, and Tormo, Pera, Irani, or Bogdan. So I think Kasatkina could actually make a semifinal run at this year's tournament. And that bottom half, it's really open. I think if Petra Martic stays solid, I definitely think this could be her time to shine. especially with everything, especially since she's been having that kind of losing streak in early rounds and then finally had the confidence to beat Rogers, Landanovic, Podoroska, Pegula, and then go 3 sets with Pliskova in Rome. I definitely think this is a stepping stone for her to do well at the French Open this year. So we'll see. I think it's going to be Martic versus Kasatkina in the semifinals at the bottom half, and Serena and Coco at the top. I could see Gauff winning this tournament. Why not? I think this is a perfect opportunity for her to prove herself on the surface and do well, besides winning on hard court like she did in Linz for her maiden WTA title, for a junior French Open champion like she is. I think we still need to see her prove herself to be at that top level consistently on the clay surface, on the main tour level. So I think Coco Gauff could win this tournament, honestly, especially if Serena Williams loses to someone like Clara Tauson early on, or Roos in that quarterfinal spot. So we'll see. I actually think Coco Gauff could win this tournament. So let me know what your predictions are for this upcoming Emilia-Romagna tournament in Parma. Let me know who you think is going to be the winner, who's going to lose first. When this video comes out, the tournament has already started, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys enjoyed your predictions. Let me know your predictions down below in the comments. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Check us out on all our social medias, our website, everything. Links to those are down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, guys.